Hello everyone, Irish Commander here, once again. And I know the videos just went up, got a little delayed, of course. But today I want to show you something for the Winter War event we are going to be holding here. Which is actually going to be my first real experience with this game. Finally talked to my friend. We finally picked out some expansion sets we're going to be using. So let's go over those expansion sets and why we chose them. Before I get into any of them, Winter War is a pretty obvious one since this whole event is based around the conflict which took place in between the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics and the Independent Republic of Finland. That probably wasn't the official name of Finland, but the Finns got their independence. So I think we had to go Winter War for obvious reasons, and we have confirmed that he is going to be playing the Axis powers, consisting of Germany, Italy, and all the way over here, Japan. So let me tell you about the expansions he's chose. Now he went with Oil Wars for one of them, and I think Oil Wars is actually a pretty good option. Because it adds a little bit of realism. I'm going to be getting some chips sometime after Christmas to replace those pawns there to be my actual, my little. I'm going to be getting the actual little markers, so that'll be nice. And I sent them the PDFs rather than trying for both me and him to call. It's pretty hard for us to find time to call each other. That's why we are planning this event ahead of time. So, yeah, but we are going to be playing after Christmas and using the Oil Wars. He chose that one, so I tried to tell him when picking out expansions because he before we talked about this, he basically knew nothing about this game other than that I played it or attempted to play it, and other things I'm associated with history and stuff like that. Another one he chose, and since he was playing the Axis, he chose the Afrika Korps, and that's a pretty good option for him since he's playing Germany, Italy, and over there Japan. But for this game, I actually wanted to go with since we didn't really talk about it, but I kind of wanted to use my Egyptian and South African forces. I think I'm gonna go over that with him after this video, but it's not gonna change the game that much. It's just different colored forces. So I'm really intrigued by how the North African front and possibly Mid-African front develops with the Afrika Korps. And I actually did just recently get the Afrika Korps as an expansion set. So yeah, I'm wondering how that's gonna work out. So that's one we have decided on. And I believe this is the last one he chose. And I believe I chose the Winter War. So we each chose 3, and then we have 1 extra one, so we're playing with 7 great expansion sets. And this is the last one he chose. And I sent him a picture of all the ones that I had, not necessarily the ones that we can choose from, because we can just choose any expansion set and substitute in pieces. But I just decided, you know what, let's go with the ones we have. Sorry if I'm sucking snot out my nose. Just a little runny today. But it's late in the night, and I thought, since it's a little quiet, I'll go ahead and record. So I didn't really tell him or explain to him any of the expansion sets. I just set them all out, took a picture, and said, "Here, pick some." And we were originally going to pick 2 each, but I thought, you know what? That's not enough variety for our first game. And usually for your first game, you only want to have 1 or 2. But we decided, you know what? We want to have a little bit of variety in our game. We want to have a little bit of we wanted to expand our possibilities. So Turkey at War is a good one for that, as now we'll have a new nation to compete over. And that's another thing that will add to the earlier years of gameplay, because as most of you may know, in the beginning years of the game of Global War 36, not much is going on, but in the you may get Japanese invasion of China over there. You got the Spanish Civil War, and we'll talk about Spanish Civil War in a minute. And you really just gotta wait till 1939. I mean, the earlier parts of the game are actually a really good way to introduce new players into combat, like I said, in Spain and China. But yeah, the Turks will definitely be a factor to watch for in that. Now it's time to go over the ones I added. Now, I did add Winter War as one of mine, and you'll find that one we pre-selected from the start. I selected Canada at War, as I'm going to be playing the Allies. So most of the ones I picked, well, besides the Winter War, the other 2 I picked were bit Allied benefit. So I picked Canada because I really wanted to use my Canadian units, and either way I was going to use them. But this adds more rules to Canada. And here, let's get a shot at the Canadian forces over here, British Columbia, and the Northern Territories there. So I'll pick this one for obvious reasons, because I'm an Allied player. And I also picked this one as an Allied player, but the Netherlands fights back. So I added this one because the Netherlands, to me, has always been a complicated nation, as it has been always throughout history. It's been a small European nation, but as you begin to look in the Americas, get a little bit of colonies here, then they get the Dutch East Indies, or the Japanese would call it the Money Islands, the Japanese player rather. But it also adds practically a new player or a new turn to my game. So either way, if I don't win Turkey, I'm guaranteed to have a new nation, or with different pieces and whatnot. And if I separate, and to me, if I break up my different players as the Allies, like if I break up British Empire into its different components, if I break up France and its minor powers, which would be the Dutch in this case, if I broke up those into its different components, then I feel like I could go along with it more smoothly. So, yeah, let me grab the Winter War rule set so I can show you. So, just a quick recap before I show you the one we pre-selected. My friend, he chose Oil Wars, the Africa Corps, Turkey at War. I chose, and these are the ones I chose. I chose Canada at War. The Netherlands fights back, sorry. I forgot what it was called for a minute. And then Winter War. I believe Winter War is the most obvious one we had to go with. And then, let's move these aside because I want to talk about this last one. So, knocked over some of my forces there in South Africa. So let me fix that real quick. And I'll reveal the final expansion set. So, the final one we this is the one we pre-selected. It was the Spanish Civil War. This is now, for any of you long-term players, you will know that this is the one that you want to play with nearly every single game, unless you want to have a vanilla game with no expansion sets. But every game I've seen online has at least one or two, and this tends to be one of them. But we pre-selected this one because I believe it's one of the ones that you have to go with. It makes Spain a lot more realistic, basically. It just adds a lot more realism and all that to them. I also recently just picked up the actual Spanish Civil War set. If you remember my unboxing in my Preparing for War series, which the Preparing for War series I canceled because since then I've created the Winter War event. But my point is I finally have everything I need for the Spanish Civil War. I even have my own. I think after Christmas I'll have everything I need for this game, and I could just, play this game right now and not even worry about it. But I feel like the items that I am going to get after Christmas is going to be very helpful for this game. Yeah, watch my last video if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I feel like the Spanish Civil War is the one we had to go with, and I think this is the way we're going to do it from now on. Every time me and not just my friend, but other people who are interested in playing this game with me, I believe that's how I'm going to be doing that. We're going to have one expansion pre-picked. We know we're going to play it, and then the way we were going to do it is we each pick two, and then we have the one pre-selected, so it'll be 5. But like I said, that felt a little too plain for me, so we went with 3 expansion sets each, which I feel that adds a little more variety to the game. So yeah, that's what we're going to be using expansion set wise. And I believe tonight I'm going to, or later after I get done recording, I'm going to be talking to him about house rules, and not just my house rules like Egypt and South Africa, but other people's house rules like shuttle hand grenades, technology one. I forgot what that one was called, but it's most people use it. Like you roll a dice and then roll I believe it's a 16-sided die. I'm not sure. I think it was a 12-sided die, and then you pick out your technology for each nation, and then you roll again. I'm gonna have to watch that video again, but yeah, I thought I'd give you guys another Winter War video to enjoy, and the next one, I'm not sure what the next one will be, or when I will record it, as tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I might upload this tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm going to be a little busy because it's Thanksgiving. Yeah, and I think I'll leave you here with my new, much smaller Zeppelin. So yeah, so this has been Irish Commander, and have a happy Thanksgiving.